Om Shri Ganeshaya Namo Namah. Greetings to everyone world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe. We extend a very warm welcome to green morning and green afternoon and green evening, wherever you are. We appreciate if you take care of your health, your wellness, and of course, wellness is of different kinds, mental wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, environmental wellness, and economic wellness. That is also something very, very important. Because if you have economic wellness, then you can travel world over, you can enjoy tourism facilitations, tourism services, and you can visit any country wherever you feel like. Because traveling, it gives you altogether a different experience, You travel for different purposes and you go for different purposes. So my two distinguished guests, they will be talking to you in a little while. Welcome to Canada, ladies and gentlemen. And we are going to tighten, your seat belts, and we are going to take, because destination is Canada. It's a 14-hour flight and preparations to go abroad. We have got CFA Surya Vijay Sastri Kotamarti ji from the Kotamarti group and Vikas Malhotra ji, tourism expert, Canada. Both are with us and we are moving ahead. ICSI International Chamber for Service Industry extends a very warm welcome to all our brothers and sisters. Welcome to Canada. You can enjoy Canada. You can see from all angles, different seasons, different climatic conditions. What you should know about entering Canada or before traveling to Canada, that is something very important. And is so truly said by Napoleon Hill long time back. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So let's come together and let's travel. And we complete 1,745 webinars, having started on 25th of March 2020. It's going live on ICSI India. So this is your YouTube channel. Enjoy. Let me share with all of you. We are going to have our 29th annual convention of the ICSI on 13th, 14th, and 15th of January. And we would be touching almost all the factors and all the points which are related to all of us. With these words, join me in welcoming both the distinguished guests, Surya Vijay Sastri Kotamarti ji and Mr. Vikas Malhotra. It's a pleasure to have both of them. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Because it's an early morning and I do not know, see outside of your window, what is the temperature? I do not know. Over here at my place, it is 11 degrees. So I do not know what is the temperature there. Preparing yourself to go to Canada. Lot is there. And let's take on the journey together. And Vikas always gives a benefit of the biological clock. And we go to CFA Vijay Sastri Kotamarti ji, and thereafter we'll come to Vikas. With these words, I take you. Flight is landing in Toronto. I hope you all are prepared to go to Canada. Let's take on their vision and their inputs, valuable inputs. How do we have to prepare ourselves to travel to Canada, go to Canada, and various factors are there which we have to take into consideration. With these words, Vijay Sastri Kotamarti ji, all yours.
Thank you. Namaskar. Good evening to everyone in India. Good morning to everyone in Canada, and good afternoon to everyone wherever in the world the time zones are. So the temperature here today, as of now, is -4 degrees Celsius. Just
oh my God, I'm feeling cold here.
And it is without the wind chill. So if I don't want to tell the wind chill because it will be over -10 degrees. So the wind was very bad. Yesterday we had 100 kilometers per hour winds, and it was pretty bad. And I experienced it when I was coming out of the Mississauga Convention Center, and the wind was pushing me behind as well. I was walking across towards my car. So it's pretty cold here. I thought, today's conversation, if you allow me, I would like Vikas to start, because there is something which I want him to tell, because the mindset is very important for people to start. So with your permission, I'll ask him to speak what he wants to speak, what he would like to say. And thereafter, there is something from the, experience and knowledge and other things which I will speak about. So Vikas, all yours, please go ahead.
Wonderful gesture by elder brother. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is like a relay race. It's one handing over the another one to that. And that's what we call team. Together, each can achieve more, is what they always say. So greetings, everybody. I will come straight to the point here. Canada or any place in the world, Canada specifically, because there are few little things which are not existing in the other parts of the world, which I'm going to talk about. There are absolutely 4 or 5 top things that one must keep in their mind when they want to come here. Whether they come as a student, they come to immigrate, whatever they want. But the first thing is that you have to be mentally prepared. You are moving yourself from your comfort zone, wherever in the world is, and you're going to place yourself in another part of the world. Now, when you go to another part of the world, geographically, the weather conditions are not going to be the same way you're going to come from, because you're totally another longitude and latitude area on the globe. So Canada has extreme winters. We just talked about -4, -11 with the wind chill, 100 km per hour. We got to imagine, it doesn't mean that you have to be standing for hours and hours in that wind chill, but it also means that there would be a time that you definitely will be facing those at some point or the other. We still face them. So one has to be really ready for that. Also, there is, your mindset should change. Your mindset should tell that we've got a vision in our mind. We got to achieve this. We got to come to, on a scale of 10, we got to get to 10, not 9.9. Now, for that, there is a preparation required. So preparation in the sense, now everybody has their own way to work, but I'm a human being who likes to write down everything, not type. I'm saying write down with a pen. The more I write, the more I retain in my mind, and set yourself some goals that by the end of January, I should have got my documents filed already done. By end of March, I should have given, I should submit everything well on time. So work with a timeline always, and always take the first step. You take the first step, second onwards will follow the suit. But what I have seen, people will say, oh yeah, as a student, I want to go. Okay, I want to go as an investor. But the thing is that those are only talks. One has to get into action. That's one thing. Another thing is a very, very important factor, I feel, is the preparation. When you go, you will need to drift your mind away to convert every expense in Canada into INR if you come from India. Like, as an example, you want to buy coffee from Starbucks. I'm just going to give you one simple example, right? It could cost you $5 or $6 over here. I'm going to use the word CAD because that's being used a lot. And everybody's saying, oh my God, coffee is like 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees, whatever is the cost. So please keep in mind when you come, let's say as a student, when you come, you're going to do some job. Even as a student, you will pick up some part-time job. You are allowed to do 20 hours a week. So you are not going to earn in INR. You're going to earn in CAD. You're going to spend in CAD. So you got to shift your mindset, and please stop converting everything into INR. I see many, many, many times over here. I interact with a lot of immigrants and students. I deliver some lectures as well. And when the question answers come that, the cost of living is very expensive over here, I must inform you, the cost of living is expensive everywhere in the world, because the economy of the world is as such. If you're earning in CAD, retain, and your expenses in CAD as well. So that mindset has to change. So those were the quick few little things that I wanted to say. And one thing I did, and I still do till date, you are going to give a gift to yourself by moving to another place. And why would you move? For better life. You are giving a gift. So always be inspired, always be motivated. You can say, I'm going to do this for so and so. Just for the privacy reasons I'm not able to disclose somebody's name. There is a person, and he's a lawyer in Supreme Court of India, and he's my mentor. Whatever I do, I keep him in my mind, that if I'm given a chance, what kind of life would you like to lead? That's one human being I would say that I would like to lead a life like him. And I follow, he's not any preacher or like anything. He's just another ordinary human being like you and I. But when you want to do something for somebody, you said, yes, I want to do because somebody like that has achieved the highest level in his life. So moving from India or any part of the world to Canada could be on the same lines. You give that gift to yourself, and do not lose hopes. Do not lose hopes. Go one step, second step, third step, and don't rush. I'm sure you will find yourself over here. Back to Vijay, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much for the valuable inputs. Let's switch over to our eminent financial expert from Canada, who has spent his entire life journey towards finance. I think let's have you now and your valuable inputs.
Thanks, Sharmaji. But yes, my background, yeah, I have a lot of education and experience in the finance industry. But with experience in life, there are many more things that you learn. It's not always the the area of your professional services that you give. But apart from that, I keep telling that I'm a member of the Canada on the board of governors of Canada India Foundation, and we do a lot of things for connecting Canada and India. And with the experience that both me and Vikas they have in Canada for over 20 plus years, there are things that we know as professionals. What are the other things that are required? And I will add to what Vikas you were saying, that yes, you have to have a very big mind shift from INR to CAD. That's one mind shift. But another big shift that has to be there is in relation to your driving skills and other things also. There are, when you come to in Canada from India, because most of the listeners might be from India, the advice is that be prepared to get your education, your driving lessons initially, because in Canada, traveling by bus takes you a lot of time. And of course, it's not easy to get a license, especially in the province of Ontario, from where we come from. It's very difficult. So you have to have that also as an additional thing that you have to on your to-do list to make sure that you get your license. And don't forget to get your license from India, because they see that and the experience counts. But only thing is, you will have to still learn to have on the left-hand drive, and you will have to learn the initial 10 classes, and you go through a driving school. There are a couple of things that I just wanted to add, because these are also the things that people have to know. And certainly, the mindset of Canadian dollars. And really, if you convert, like because you were saying $5 is Starbucks. How much, in India, I have had coffee where Costa coffee and other things are more than 200 rupees, which is more than $4 or $5. So why we should be converting, first of all? And secondly, even if we convert, remember that you have come to a country, like he was saying, it is a gift to you. You are coming to one of the best countries in the world. So remember that you are being, you have made all your efforts to reach here, and complement that by what needs to be done, rather than thinking negative about the country. I will add about the experience, because this is very important when it comes, when you come initially, we have that mindset of, oh, I was the general manager of a company, or I was the CEO of a company, I was the CFO of a company, I was being paid like that. I had so many people working under me. This is what I was earning. But, we have to give all that, completely stop. You have to tell that you have come to a new country, and you have to settle here, and you will have to go gradually. You cannot just say that because I have all this experience, all this knowledge that I have, I'm going to be adapted easily into the system. The system has certain things to be done. And in Canada, it's very important that you have something local. That is what the local experience they call. The local experience, many people mistake it when it's said about Canadian experience. When they are asked, do you have Canadian experience? Immediately the new immigrants always say that, how can I have Canadian experience? I just came to the country. But just coming into the country, you don't have to work in the same level or at the same work that you were doing earlier. All that you need to do is work in the environment of Canadian system. That is what is meant by Canadian experience. I think that is one of the biggest misconceptions that immigrants have in their mind. And then they say, how can we get that experience? Go and work anywhere. It doesn't matter whether you work in Walmart or you work in Tim Hortons or anywhere for that matter. Because here the systems are such, like initially Vikas was saying, we work in Canada as a team. And the team spirit is very important here. Here, the I does not play a big role. You have to be a team player and not an individual player saying that I know everything. So you have to get into the Canadian system, work, and get the experience in whatever way you can. And I'm talking this from a work experience perspective. The another most important thing is the Canadian, knowledge or the type of education that you should have initially to start here. You might have the best designation in India or you anywhere in the world, but when you come to Canada, you have to know the Canadian laws, or you have to know the Canadian structure relating to that specific area that you relate to. So if you are in the field of finance, then you have to learn something. Even a small diploma will be fine. But, you have to do something. And second thing is, please do not think that because you have the educational levels at a particular pace, you will be accepted here. I will tell my own personal experience. I am a chartered accountant from India. I'm a FCPA from Kenya. When I came to Canada, when I went to the CGA association, they told me Indian CAs will be placed at the level of a BCom, of a Bachelor of Commerce, whether you are a Bachelor of Commerce from India or you are a chartered accountant. Now, I did not feel bad about it. I said, okay, this is their system. So I said, how do I upgrade it? They said, you have to have something local. So I prepared myself, got my US CPA, then worked for the Canadian CPA. Everybody doesn't have to have the same designations. I'm just saying that you have to adapt and get your relevant experience in this relevant knowledge in the area, and can be a small course also, need not be a full-fledged designation. I just wanted to add that, because knowledge and experience, these are the two important things that are required here, and experience comes by being in the system, not being out of the system and saying, how do I get a Canadian experience when I am not working? Don't say that. Be prepared to work anywhere in anything that you get, and be humble to accept what you have got, because your future will depend on your thoughts, how you build up your career. And building up career will be when you have a positive mindset, when you make sure that you know that you have to do certain things. And so from the knowledge and experience side, I would say this, and I'll leave the floor for questions, and so that we can discuss further. We have said, both of us have said enough.
Thank you. Thank you. Vikas, you come from the tourism background and tourism industry. So far, we have focused more on people, those are planning to migrate or shift, or students and others. Let's shift the focus. If somebody is visiting Canada for 10 days, and let's take it that you're going as a tourist over there, and you're going for exploring the business tourist or anything of that kind, how do you look, because you are working with the tourism industry hardcore, So how do you look at it? 10, 12 days, 15 days? I mean, if somebody is visiting, how one should structure and one should plan. And of course, the place where you stay, you always love that place, you respect that place. But Canada has got a big canvas. And when I move from east to west, and at the central point, you're also likely to go to Calgary now for something. So all that, when I'm taking into consideration, give a package about 10 to 12 days or 2 weeks if somebody is visiting, which are the best months and when one should come and how one should come prepared, and something related to that.
Sure. Thank you. That is a very, very good question and a process of the thought. So let's take from the angle, not from the tourism angle only. That'll flow. But let's say that somebody wants to come as a business investor, and let's just work on one line, or maybe as a student, that what are the universities. But whatever you come, I'm just going to give you an example of a business investor. When you come, there are lots and lots of appointments available online. So I would say before you come, you have your appointments with the industry that you're related to and that you are interested in. I would, let's take civil aviation, for example, right? So civil aviation has, the government of the civil aviation actually invites students, tourists, visitors, and they actually relate them to the airline industry as well. So somebody wants to go to WestJet, just another example, WestJet airline, and say, hey, I would really like to see how your infrastructure is placed, where the helm of the affairs take place, where the decision authorities, the world headquarters are placed. So the civil aviation actually will link you to the HR or to the concerned department that so-and-so is going to visit from India. We would like to show around. We would like to see the structure. So those kind of things are not done as a go show. They are done as appointments. So that's really the one thing I would like to say, that people over here would respect if you respect their time. And the more you respect their time, the more you respect being on time also, always is very, very crucial. There is one word I would like to say, and all the Canadian students, Indian students over here will agree with what I'm saying. There's a lot of human value, a lot of it, whatever sector you take. So if you're going to come for like 10 days, I would say, please take your appointments, aim at whatever your interest levels are. There are lots of things which are of somebody's different interests are lying in different areas of this country. For example, somebody wants to go into the oil and refinery industry, just as an example. So would definitely like to see Edmonton, would like to see Red Deer, would like to see that pipeline which is going to the United States, how all the infrastructure is placed. If somebody's wanted to go from the tourism angle, then you've got the West Coast over there and the East Coast over there. There are two different perspectives. Somebody wants to club United States with Canada in those 10 days, 5 days here or 4 days here or 6 days here, then you will be placing yourself along with the borderline, whether West Coast or East Coast. So that kind of a thing is definitely there. Second thing is that always be punctual. If you have given time to somebody at 9 a.m., please be there at 8:59 a.m., but not 9:01 a.m. People are very particular about these things, and they will invite. You've got a specific time. They will say, okay, we are available from 9 to 10. We'll show you around. We'll show you the infrastructure. We'll introduce you to the HR so that when you go back, you can always remain in touch with them too. So those time slots are always very, very crucial to place. Another thing is that be familiar with the areas that you will be going. I'm staying in a hotel, but the actual office where I'm going to visit to meet those guys, how far is it? How am I going to go? Will Uber app work over there? Or do I take a cab or a train? So do some preparation before you actually come here as well. Another thing, I would always say business with leisure. Add few more tourism spots around you. There are tons of things available over here. If you're going to Edmonton, why would you go only to Edmonton? Go to Jasper, go to Banff. It's all in that hemisphere. You're already here. You just have to drive for another half an hour or 45 minutes, and you will see world-class beauty around you. So that's what my take is. If you please allow me, I have two very important points. Vijay ji just touched those, and those are extremely, extremely important. Number one is enhance your skills. Now I'm shifting my gears towards if you want to come here as a student or as an immigrant, you always have to enhance your skills. I had done my master's from India in this industry, and Dr. Saab is aware of that. But I still had to come here and I still had to enhance my skills over here because I had to take some Commodore, the course is not the word, like I had to do kind of a thesis, you can say. So I had to write a test, I had to pass an examination, and then I get a certification. Only then I was allowed to be in this industry. This certification is called as TICO. If anybody wants to go, it's called tico.com. Now, TICO is a government body saying that now you have passed the test and now you are most welcome to work in this industry. Without this certification, legally, I'm not even allowed to speak to a customer. It's very, very, very important. So this is just one example, and I'm sure in finance sector or manufacturing, there would be many other, banking, there would be many other. So please come with a preparation that you would need to enhance your skills if required. A 9 out of 10 test. One last thing I want to say is when you come here, like if you've got a package of 10 days, or if you've got, like as a student or as an immigrant, there are 3 S to follow. S like Sam. First S is slow down. You don't need to rush. Just do one thing at a time. You don't need to rush that, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. Let's not be jack of all. Let's be masters of one. So please slow down. I always say that to all the students over here. Second S, be simple. Vijay ji just said, when you come, I could be a CEO of a Asian Paints or this paint or that paint, or this firm, but you got to be simple. धरती पे आ जाओ भैया, थोड़ा सा तुम्हारे लिए ही अच्छा होएगा. Be simple. That's the S. And third S, most of the Canadians follow. I would say 9 out of 10, Vijay ji will agree with me, is always smile. If you have a smile on you, you have won the hearts. Canadians are very polite and very down-to-earth human being. Nobody show off. I've got a Mercedes Benz lying in my this, I've got this. Nobody's like that. People call each other's with name. I call my CEO with his name as well. He's my super, he's my CEO, but I call him by his first name. Everybody calls, everybody treats everybody equal. So there's a lot of human value over here. And honestly, once when you come into the groove, you will enjoy your life. You will say, yaar, ye bhi life hoti hai. I'm not trying to boast about it all the time. Yes, there are always the other side of the seesaw as well. It is up to us. What are we looking? Glass full or glass empty? So let's focus on full over here, half full. So those were the few things which were the afterthought processes, and Vijay ji will absolutely agree. Dr. Saab, even you will agree because you've been to this place many times. You know how Canadians operate, function, and how it is. People think, oh, it's a part of US. Just वहां पे होंगे वैसे वहां होंगे. US is very good. They are good in their own way, but we are here very simple and nobody show offs. I see a lot of this. Unfortunately, I was in India a few months ago, as you know. Even till date, I'm on my WhatsApp group with my friends. Even till date, I find everybody showing. आज मैंने Audi ले ली, आज मैंने ये लिया, आज इसके साथ गया. आज they will blast what small thing they've done. 1 out of 10 will become 20 out of 10. So those things do not exist here. Everybody's equal. Everybody loves each other. And once again, there is a human value. So, and wonderful. I'm sorry if I'm taking an excess of time. No. I just get carried away.
We have time. No problems. Now, something very interesting over here. because your mic is muted. Now, something very
Yeah, I
interesting.
would just like to add something to that.
Sure, please, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to add some humor to what he said. And here, everybody calls everyone with the first name because we believe that Shakespeare's saying that what's in a name, a rose is a rose, right? So just adding humor to it, that doesn't matter. Yeah, because I know that when we come from the other parts of the world, they don't like you calling you by the first name, but name really should not matter. How they call you is not what you have to. So it's very important that your mindset has to be that, okay, he's addressing me and I have to do that. Just wanted to add that because we have to change our mindset regarding that also.
Wonderful. There's something very interesting over here. Our chamber is doing a lot of research on that. There's something known as global culture and interpersonal cultural relationship when we take into consideration. I personally feel because, I'll take you some examples. Let's take Austria. I'll take an example of Austria. When I travel to Vienna or to Salzburg or to Linz or a couple of other places, and some university professors and other people, now there are certain cultural linkages which you have got from different countries, and we got to respect that. That's why they say when you are in Rome, do as the Romans do. That is something very interesting. Now, if you call a professor or the head of the department without his designation, whatever he has achieved over the years, and I've seen even the ministers in those countries. I went to Germany, I went to Austria, I went to Luxembourg. They will never pronounce or announce a person without the prefix of whether a professor or dean or something that is always mentioned, maybe a particular segment we are taking. Secondly, if the armed forces professional, I do not know in Canada, but I'm just talking about in America. If somebody is a colonel, or if somebody is a major, or if somebody is a general, you will address him first with that, and then comes his name. The prefix is there. So similar way, we got to respect each other's cultural values, cultural collaborations, and I personally feel from that point of view, it's not a very big thing if somebody, I was just talking to one of the university international affairs dean day before yesterday with my president, and he tried his level best during half an hour discussion that I call him by first name, but I told Mr. such and such, Mr. such and such, Mr. such and such. And when we closed the conversation, he told Major Dr. Gulshan Sharma, it was a pleasure to talk to you. So over the years, in certain profession, I personally feel that no binding is there. We should respect wherever we are traveling, the culture of that particular country. But at the same time, it's not that big an issue in a podlock where the whole world is now having a confluence of the cultures. And together, when we travel over there, we'll adopt that. When we are here, we will adopt that. Because I personally feel in education arena, people take in different countries quite an offense if you do not call them with the prefix of their title. I've seen that. Even if you travel to Finland, you go to Denmark, you go to Sweden, you go to Norway, where the laureates and others. So I personally feel professor such and such, eminent professor from the physics or the chemistry or the mathematics, and that is the way. I would derive a pleasure whenever I will talk to you. I would like to address you as a CFA, Vijay, Surya, Kotamarti ji.
You don't need that, sir.
No. When I come over there to Canada, it's fine. But over here, let me preserve my cultural heritage, what I have imbibed over the years. I personally feel from that perspective. Please,
Sure.
I think Vikas, you wanted to say something.
So the defense personnel is same over here as well. My son is just at the entry level of the aviation, and that has the presence of the defense as well, which he's actually doing the cadets. What we have NCC in India. So he's actually called by his rank amongst his peers and the other thing. And that part I absolutely agree. There is a university over here that I actually deal with. And when I speak to the dean or when I speak to the professors, I also call them as Dr. Harris as an example, because they are doctorates, but that's we still do that thing. What I'm trying to say, that the culture that, and because I worked in India too, that everybody, ma'am, sir, I see on even TV shows, I see a lot. I see, everybody's using the ma'am and sir to the bosses in a work environment, or even when you talk to each other, even if it's one level higher. That's exactly what I was trying to say, that in a working environment, everybody calls each other with their first names. But where the prefix of the designation is there, in a case like defense or doctorate as an example, definitely the same thing is being followed over here too as well.
Wonderful,
So,
wonderful. Even when Vikasji, when we go for conferences, conventions, or big events, and over there, celebrity or a person is being invited to speak on the platform or to address or in the panel discussion, I personally feel that they always add that prefix over there, because one is formal and one is too much of intimacy where you try and make everybody, but it's okay. We'll adopt wherever we are, wherever it's comfortable.
That way we are also called CPA, Vijay Kotamarti, like that. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, when we talk to each other, at that time we just use the first name.
Yes. Wonderful. So that's a very, very healthy. So we have taken tourism point of view, business point of view, migration point of view, students point of view. I think preparing yourself to go to Canada, ladies and gentlemen, those enjoy cold weather, those enjoy that kind of a weather, go now. Otherwise, you can go in month of June, July, when you have a moderate kind of a temperature, and people like me can travel, because when I feel -4 degree, and when he says outside 11 degrees otherwise. So I personally feel we all are different. We all are in different places, but we all human beings respect, love, and it is a pleasure to travel any country, any point of time, depending on your perception. And that's why the first thing which was highlighted today, mental preparation, weather preparation, and cost of living, cost of visiting, and all that being taken into consideration. I'm pretty sure all the participants, those have come on the YouTube channel, you have been asking for it, and it was a wonderful suggestion from Mr. Vikas Malhotra and our CPA Vijay Sastri Kotamarti ji, that we should take today this particular topic. And now moving on to what is my interest before I close this session. My interest is, I think it should come over here. Will it come? Let me just see. How do I, 1 minute, we will take only 1 minute, because I'm just trying to figure it out. If it's possible, if it's not possible, we will not take it. And this is something, okay, fine, it's not coming through. Let me not just spend time on that. Our efforts are services exports, because our chamber is basically dealing with services sector. Economy, we all know that it's agriculture, it's manufacturing, it's services. We are focusing on services sector. And at the same time, every Sunday we take on the journey where the different components of tourism, hospitality, airlines, education, skills, and finances, and IT and ITS, and environmental services, and other kind of whatever services are available, logistics services, different topics we are going to touch. Now, there is a component, something called consultancy. When you carry out a market research and when you have a consultancy, can I make a request to both my distinguished guests? Can we have next week consultancy services broad kind of an overview? And thereafter, if we need, we can take separately segments also. We can flow the program in 2-3, kind of weekends, and we can focus. Do you feel that consultancy services would be an appropriate topic?
Sure, it will. In fact, consultancy
Sure.
itself is a very wide definition, but underneath that, there are so many. So, yeah, we can go one by one into each sector of consultancy.
Very kind of you. Vikasji, your views on that?
For sure. It's a very wide subject, but for sure we will start with a broad overview. And I think the more interaction we will have from the audiences for the questions, it is definitely going to help the more participation that we will get, because we really do not want to talk something of not of their interest. This is the forum. This is the YouTube channel for the audiences to learn, to educate, to exchange an idea. So I would kindly request the audiences to participate as the best as they can and ask us questions, because we would like to know what is in their mind so that we can address to those if we know the answers.
Excellent, excellent. All the participants on the YouTube channel, we would like to make a humble request to you, and those of you who are feeling shy to come on the YouTube and post right now, I don't know. Once 1 or 2 days passes, then more people, they come, they watch this particular video, and then they just rotate it, and it is a multiplier effect which goes to different places. But yes, so well said by Mr. Vikas Malhotra that why not? We should have more questions coming from your side, and that is the pattern. Next week, whosoever asks the best question, 3 participants will get 1,000 rupees each. Let's work on to consultancy. Next week, we work on that. With these words, my deep gratitude and thanks to both the distinguished guests. And you've got a wonderful day ahead. Enjoy yourself. -4-degree temperature inside. And thereafter, next Sunday, 8 p.m., we will take on to Chamber Interest is Services Exports. ICSI is working towards services exports. We will be focusing on consultancy services. How do you prepare yourself and how to go by if the consultancy services have to be exported? Like earlier, Kotamarti ji had mentioned, financial services, how they are being done, legal services, how they are being done. And Vikas ji had also given the inputs on to other segments. And after consultancy, I'll go to environmental services, because the climate change and global warming and all that, because Canada is doing a lot on to research part in that. That's what I learned from a couple of people. So we will take on that also in our fold in future. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, let's say goodbye to each other and stay fit, stay fine, enjoy yourself. Have a wonderful, wonderful day ahead in Canada, and your post-lunch, your tea and coffee in European Union. And people, those are in India, have your haldi ka milk now, and then go